Hello, everybody, and a happy Monday. I am Dichotomous Prime, aka Vince, and this is the Stream of Consciousness. I am a West Indian Canadian bi tabletop creator. I use he, him pronouns, and I do a number of different things in the tabletop space, including cultural consultation. I need to remember everything that I do because I wear many, many hats. I need more heads for all the hats I wear. Cultural consultation, sensitivity reading, mechanics, and narrative design. However, I am also a huge fan of video games, as you can see by the handsome menu next to me. And today, I believe that we are going to be checking out an old favorite of mine. Everyone recently is super hype about Hades. I am too. I love that game, love me a good roguelike, and love Supergiant games. But today, we're gonna hop in the time machine a little bit. We are gonna go back to a simpler time. A time when no one had heard of Supergiant games. And this is going to be the game that arguably put their name on the map. It is one that holds a deep, and important place in my heart, both as a game designer and as a gamer myself. It is the first game for PC that I ever owned. I played it on an old Lenovo laptop that nearly caused it to melt because, holy crap, that was not made to do games. But it embedded in me a feeling about how to do emergent narrative well. Because I have a whole thing about how if you're going to make a game, don't tell your narrative primarily through means that are not game related, so cutscenes and things like that. But before we get into it, how's everybody doing? How's the chat? I hope everyone had a restful weekend if you're someone who works the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday grind. And if you don't, I hope that you were able to find a couple of moments of respite to rest and recuperate among whatever you need to do, work in the side hustle, work in the grind to be able to make ends meet. I see Nine is sick. Nine, how are you doing? I see you're in the chat. I hope everything's going okay with you. And yeah, please, if anyone has any things on their mind, I don't know if any of you have played Bastion before or if this is a first time, I'm very interested in people's thoughts on it. Because, yeah, no, I have, as I do with most things, I've spent a lot of time thinking about Bastion and the lessons that I learned from it in terms of being literate to game design and making my own games and all of those sorts of things. So yeah, let's see here. Fellow person playing a Supergiant game on a barely held together laptop. I've been there with Transistor. Yeah, no, and that laptop would not have even stood a chance against Transistor. Oh, look at that! My Google Chrome window has finally opened after 5 minutes because I'm basically, until I get another monitor set up, I watch the chat through a secondary laptop. Speaking of laptops, yeah. Oh, that's right. You had was it a knee injury, I believe? I hope that's, you've been getting lots of rest for that, and I hope that you're doing all right and the pain isn't too bad. I know, I'm lucky enough to have not had anything in terms of like a ligament injury or a torn tendon or anything, but anything having to do with ball and socket joints, so shoulders, hips, knees, none of that stuff is fun. And it's always real tricky to try and actually get it to heal properly. So I hope that it's going okay for you. Yeah, lots of stuff is going on in the various different spaces right now in terms of tabletop, video games. Here's interesting thought. There's a game that I have seen played that I kind of want to play, but I don't know if it suits a Let's Play well. It's called There Is No Game, and it's one of those games like the Stanley Parable that is incredibly meta and very kind of commentary, and it does so many of these think outside the box things that I'm like, I want to highlight this and I want to show the really cool work that was done on this, but it's so all over the place structurally that I'm not sure if it would fit a playthrough or not. So yeah, and this is one of those things where I'm showing my lack of experience as a Let's Player, because I'm like, what do the kids like these days? Do they like stuff that's more structured, less structured, all over the place? But yeah, no. And then other things I've heard people say is like, listen, man, don't even worry about it. Like, be yourself, have some interesting things to say, keep your chat a safe place for people, and you're good. But I'm like, but then that'd be really weird for other things. And there's this whole kind of consumption with doing this streamer thing right that I'm still kind of on. So yeah, we'll figure it out right now. But November is Ori month. November is Ori month, and I'm not gonna let my ADHD scatterbrain throw me all over the place. That's the month for celebrating that, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully everyone else is too, and we'll have lots of fun with that. Which, by the way, this is a good time to remind everyone: hydrate, stretch, posture check, take your meds, do anything you need to be able to take care of yourself, because, you know, without your health, there isn't really much else that you got. So yeah, I hope everyone takes this opportunity to do what they need to do to make sure that you have as few aches and pains and headaches as possible. So before we dive in, because I don't want to keep people from this for too much longer, I am going to be doing less of the running commentary, because as people who may have heard of Bastion or played it before are aware, it has a pretty amazing narrator, and one of the awesome ways that it does storytelling is largely through that narration that is triggered by as you kind of move through the map. So I don't want to... Oh, look at that, and Hera's playing Monster Hunter World right now. Hello, Hera. I want to not interrupt that as much as possible, so I'm going to try and wait as much as I can to get to hub worlds or areas where I can speak without having that be interrupted, in order to have my various commentary. Because, you know, it's something that's really well done in the game, and I wish that more games would do. Yeah, Logan Cunningham. For the longest time, I'm like, is that, and now I'm gonna forget his name. Ron Perlman. I could have sworn, I'm just like, Ron Perlman? No, but Logan Cunningham. Amazing voice. Absolutely amazing voice. I'm super glad that Supergiant is, pun not intended, is still giving that man work, and, you know, generally having an in-house cast that they bring back again and again, because, the life of a contractor is scary, and the most that they can do to alleviate that stress is pretty awesome. Okay, so without further ado, I believe that it's time to go on in. I've got subtitles all headed up, so if folks, and please let me know if you can't hear the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is fucking baller, and I hope that people are able to enjoy it. But now let's just dive on in, I think. Normal mode, sure.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
It's taking me back already.
Ground forms up under his feet as it point the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion.
Alright, B to attack. Jeez, I forgot this stuff.
He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Starts to feel his bruises, though.
God How slow you move in this game.
An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber.
I think at some point I'm gonna see... So, for those in chat, are you seeing... There seems to be an almost imperceptible little line of static going up the diagonal of the screen.
Just rages for a while.
Let me know if you can see that, because I might have to do some adjustments. Iterative game design. I definitely do want to get into that, 9. It is a little bit more of an in-depth discussion that I might have to dedicate some time to it.
By now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink.
Yeah, I'll have to mess with some graphics settings, I think. This is reminding me of the numbskulls from Hades a lot. Same hat, same design. Or similar, at least. Yeah, that's strange. I haven't had that phenomenon with the graphics as I have before.
He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi.
Oh, but it's gone now. Alright, that's interesting.
Calamity got him before his drinking did. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. The security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call.
It's really interesting how you can see the DNA of a lot of the animations that Supergiant still uses in Hades. In, like, if you look at these gas fellows, and then you look at the wretches from Hades, that axe animation is pretty much the same thing, because animation is expensive.
Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
It's totally gone. Good. I don't know if that's going to keep happening, but it seems to be fine for now. I don't feel like smashing his statue. That feels mean. And I can't go back out, so... Yeah, it seems to be gone, so won't worry too much about it for now.
Good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke.
Oh, but it's back now. Okay, that's... No, and now it's gone. I'm very confused.
Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid.
Don't want to fall off stuff too much.
Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome. He's a mighty fast learner.
Whoa! Oh, that's right. I forgot that they can hit each other.
Right back at you.
The way to my heart in a game is definitely a good counter bounce. Like, if you can reflect shots, you've already half won me over as is.
He finds the distillery right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
Fetching fizz, stray fragments. There we go. Okay, and it's just the introduction to that, right?
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
Oh, hey, Follow My Blade. How are you doing? Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be getting used to it again, because I've seen a couple of people say, and they're not incorrect, that Bastion and all of the other Supergiant games almost feel like the building up the DNA that makes Hades as addictive of a game as it is. So yeah, no, it's definitely going to take some time getting used to it. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for dropping by the stream. Let's see, what do I want to update? Let's see, so I've already got that. So I can just... Okay. Excellent. And then all of this, cool. No, so I need to... Dancing shot, bouncing from target to target. I don't hate that. All right.
Some of them squirts birthing like crazy
Whoop.
in a couple of corn bins.
Right, I forgot those are for... Hook! There we go. There we are. Okay, that's a little bit better. And that's my bouncing shot. Cool, cool. We're getting used to it.
An old ferry barge. Sends the
What?
kid on his
Okay,
way.
that was cheap. I don't do that.
Bastion's real close now.
Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Come on. Or I could just have them miss me. Whoop! Yeah, this is closer to... Whoa, okay. Falling off is not optimal. Come on. There we go. Why did I switch my controls? I shouldn't have assigned something. There we go. I also love me a good power shot.
Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did.
Forgot how much they kind of throw you into this right off the bat. Gotta get rid of these spawners. There we
Kid
go.
puts him out of his misery.
Yeah, okay. Really? You two? Yeah, you two are gonna be the ones who beat Batman, of course. Like, they do not screw around. They just throw enemies right at you.
To the Wharf District.
Let me check in on chat. Interesting. Doing good. Today's been great. Couple sales. Got a few people in the Discord. Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. For those of you who are unaware, Follow My Blade is Nick Butler, who is the chief designer for Tiebreaker RPG. He's actually just put up the core document for that game for everyone to play. Currently free as a Google Doc. I already said that. All right. But yeah, if you've ever wanted a really cool cinematic art action RPG, Nick's been working on this for a long time. There's a lot of really cool focus on stunts and just generally telling narrative through stylistic, exciting combat. That if that's your jam, you should definitely go follow him on Twitter. I believe he's at the same at Follow My Blade, and you should be able to find the link through there. So there you go.
He steals the city's heart. Might as well.
Hey, the line's back. I don't know why.
Kid has
There we go. Okay, yeah, no, I should run. I should really, really run. Yeah, we've been dealing with this weird static line. I don't know where it came from or why it's here, but it just kind of shows up occasionally. Come on.
See, that core kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat.
Bye-bye.
Kid just keeps running. Somersaulting like crazy.
Nope, that's not
Down
cool.
he goes. Down toward the Bastion. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
The graphics card, yeah, this is quite literally the least graphically intense game I think that I've run on this computer, so it's really strange. I'll have to check in and see what it is. Maybe if we take a break, I'll take a look at it, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the situation is.
Did anybody else survive?
So, thus far, we haven't seen a whole lot, but I want to take a moment to kind of do a bit of a development flashback here in terms of where games were with Supergiant at this point. Because it's not as if there weren't games that existed before this that did the narrative thing. You have things like Prince of Persia, but other than kind of the occasional, all right, we've hit a cutscene, all right, my character just died. Like in Prince of Persia, you'd be like, that's not how the story goes. This is a game with a surprisingly small amount of dialogue, and much of the cues for the narrator are reaching certain points in the level, but there isn't really an indicator that, ooh, look, this is something really important when it comes to the story. So it's almost like they've set up the lines that the gentleman who, I'd forgotten his first name, if it's Ron Cunningham or John Cunningham, if someone can remind me for just a moment. The lines that they've given Mr. Cunningham are all very kind of like, you know, the distiller and his wife didn't make it and all that sort of stuff. But you're like, distiller, wait, because you have all of these things around the level and you're trying to determine what's important. So it's less pointing a giant golden arrow and being like, this is the story, this is what you should be paying attention to visually. It kind of gives you a hint of that, and then you as the player, as you're going through these levels that are the existing world that is being reconstructed after this devastating calamity, it puts the impetus in your hands to be able to go around and kind of experience these things and wade into the narrative without kind of being strung along. And there's a way in which it does it that lets you kind of immerse yourself in the world rather than, you know, you're sat down in the middle of a theater and you're like, no, this is what you should be paying attention to. And the ability to guide yourself and kind of direct your own experience rather than being led along by the nose, while also being given the structure of the narration and the little lore bits that go along with the items, is something that I think contributes very strongly to how powerful the narrative is. Because with video game narratives, I feel a lot like it's like comedy, where in comedy, and Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key have said this in interviews before, is that comedy a lot of the time is you don't want to take the audience 100% of the way there. What you want to do with a good joke is take them about 70% of the way there, and then they bring themselves the other 30%. And the reason for that is, one, you show that you have respect for your audience's intelligence and capability, in that you're like, you're capable of figuring this out. So it kind of shows that you have a respect for them as equals. But then also, figuring stuff out for yourself is fun and engaging. And whether it's a joke or putting together a story for yourself, as in Bastion or games like Dark Souls, it can be very rewarding and makes you attached to something maybe in a way that you wouldn't otherwise. And you can absolutely just kind of do that in traditional narrative, or at least there's a larger threshold for that. But I would say that if you're making an interactive narrative like Bastion or like any video game, it behooves you to go, well, this is interactive, so why don't I let someone interact and find this narrative for themselves and join me in experiencing it. And the narration in this is one of many tools they use to do that. So, let's continue.
Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch.
Oh, thank you very much there, Nick. I appreciate the contribution here. It's very much appreciated. So, for those of you who are unaware, basically, this game surrounds a world that has gone through a cataclysm and the world has been shattered. You are attempting to put it back together. Let's see here. Video Innuendo Studios did on Bastion surfaces back to the forefront of my brain, and I'm again reminded of how masterfully your relationship with the narrator was handled. Absolutely. And I haven't seen that, but I'll put that on the list there, Nines, to go check out.
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown.
I also think there's something very powerful about the game setting up from the very outset a story about construction and building. I think that is, I think that's powerful. I think building something and being able to see your work in a very tangible visual way is another way to really kind of invest yourself.
Kid ponders what to build.
Enhance one's natural abilities, weapons and secret skills. Let's try the arsenal, sure. Mirror
Bastion is a
shield.
place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to.
Blocks automatic attacks for the time. That's less fun. I think I'll go with the whirlwind though, because that
Much
one
kid can't
is
handle
good for a good AoE. Okay, I don't think that there's any more that I can do here for a time. So let's head into
Kid
the
don't know
first
what's
level.
out there waiting for him. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands.
Proving ground. Right, the proving grounds. Oh, so much of this game is coming back to me now.
Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the biggest dump in town. Scumbag alley.
Whoa, okay.
Some scumbag still feeding off the city's own trash.
Okay, yep. Just gonna wait for that to go away.
And there he is. The oldest scumbag of them all. Gershel.
Sir, thank you.
Calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition.
Ah, jeez.
They always said old Gershel wouldn't go without a fight.
Forgot just how small they can get before they actually fully die.
The rest of the path is gone for good, and his city crest won't bring him back.
And nothing over here. Alright, I guess we're going in the other direction.
No core, no surprise.
Yeah, that's one thing there, Nick, that I have noticed. Just the speed of the movement does feel a lot slower. But then you'll also notice, if you don't have any speed bonuses or anything in Hades, I found that visually... Okay, so let's watch the kid move and watch how fast his feet move. It feels like he's kind of on a treadmill. And I found that Zagreus has that same feel at times in
He heads for the
Hades.
squirt steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Kid ain't ever seen an elephant squirt before.
Forgot you could shoot through them. Are you just gonna spawn infinitely? Is this what we're gonna do? No? Okay, cool. Hey,
Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw.
right. Should take this out first. Everything about my gaming instincts tells me take out the spawner first. Whoop!
They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble.
And this is the end of the path. Okay, cool. I'll admit, I probably never use the squirt lure after I first get it.
Squirts don't make the best of friends, but they can be useful in a pinch. Them squirts just don't know when to quit.
Huh. Want my bow back. I can't parry physical attacks,
Up
that's
north
right.
is where the gas filler foreman used to live, tending to his flock.
Yep, come on. Alright, okay. Sir. There we go. There we go.
No white gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing.
Soiled garment. Jesus. What kind of sounds am I even making? Interesting.
And there it is. But it's locked down tight in an alloy cage.
All right. Okay, come on. Show me the enemies. Thank you.
Blustery old foreman is
Right.
keeping his fellas in check. Almost like he's
Stuns. Whoa, okay. Alright, y'all, this is super not cool, and I do not appreciate it. Okay, now the question is whether or not I can actually block that, and how far away I have to be to actually do it. Because I'm just getting juggled now. Come on. Nope, can't block it. Good to know. Alright. So can I only hit him?
And now there's a new marshal in town.
Oh, okay. Alright, I thought I could actually fight them, but apparently not. Alright.
He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall.
Alright.
Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole.
Are there more spots up here? I don't think so. Alright. Is there anything else over here? Nope. Anything else over here? Nope.
He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. They ain't pleased. No coal or alloy left to pay for their efforts.
Oh, I can counter. Okay. It's just the visual cues in terms of where the hitboxes are not nearly as precise as previously. Upgrade. Yeah, we're definitely gonna upgrade that. Draw speed. Yeah,
With a good
no.
length of meat
Power
skill,
shot, definitely.
That bow's like new again.
And crit, punch through anything. 50% damage, yeah. Yeah.
Kid's lifelong
Probably gonna
friends
want that.
looking fit to keep on fighting.
And I don't have enough good bits. Wait, can I break
Kid's
this?
ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started.
And just gonna pick that up because why not? I also like how,
Odd place to find the likes of Percy the Snitch.
I mean, okay,
Never much cared for that big wide grin of his.
Percy the Snitch got. All right, dude, come on. There we go. All right.
He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hum.
Yeah, I always thought that the
The
kid
monument's
was a
calling
term
for
of affection. one. Parking lot behind the Wendy's. Yeah, no. It especially when the parking lot is falling apart into an abyss, it's especially dangerous.
The windbags used to be alright. Then the calamity took the floor out from under him.
Hey, little guy. How's it going? Okay, I'm gonna switch back out for my bow. That's my solid go-to. And we're gonna switch that out. Whirlwind. There we are. And we got another building.
Only fair he decides what we build next.
It also feels very, well, I mean, I guess Darkest Dungeon feels very Bastion since Bastion came first, but it reminds me a lot of building up the town in Darkest Dungeon, so you have your hub world that you're establishing. Let's see. Weapon upgrades. I forget what's in the distillery, so we're gonna find out.
Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply.
Stray fragments. One chance to carry on when defeated. Below 33% health. 33%. I don't think... I might save that for later, but we'll go Cinder Brick Stout for now.
Cinder Brick Stout sure goes down smooth, then stays in your gut like a rock.
We're gonna try and do the Proving Grounds with the
Picked up
Breaker's
traces
Bow,
of
I
other
think.
cores while the kid was out.
Sure. See if I can do this halfway decently.
The Breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets in the fewest shots.
Alright.
He's focused. He's armed. And he's off.
Alright. Let's... I need to do...
A perfect shot just happens in a flash.
Forgot how long the power shot takes. It's definitely not nearly as fast as Hades.
Kid ain't done bad at all.
Okay. Because there is actually a flash, it just takes way fast, or way slower to do it. Can I just reset? We'll try, I'll do one more time.
Kid ain't
Sure.
had enough of the Breakers' barracks.
And then we'll move on to something else. So let's see if I can just... Come here. Thank you. Gonna try and go across.
Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too.
Alright, let's... That's not bad. Okay. Now, I don't know if I can angle it to hit that other one. Nope. Alright. There we go. And it'll actually tell me too. Okay, cool. For real though? There we go. Oh, I didn't even see that one at the bottom. Well, rip me. No? Okay, cool. Well.
He returns with some of the materials we need.
I can do some of that stuff off screen, I think. Can I... might... Oh no, I don't have the forge yet. Okay. Well, I'll get another core and then we'll upgrade that, I think. Same mechanic, but through narrative and flavor text, it achieves different feels, which is very neat. Yeah, I mean, I think that there is your town in, say, a Darkest Dungeon, for instance, is kind of your very brief refuge, and I think part of that is because like you are encouraged to look at your champions, your heroes, whatever you want to call them, as a means to an end, as a resource. As Nick pointed out, you can't really win that game without being a bit of a dick. Whereas the very few NPCs that you will meet in Bastion, you are encouraged to have a relationship with. Whether it's the narrator or some of the very few others that you bring to the actual Bastion itself. So you are building something together that is lasting in a way that the world itself feels as though it is not. Literally, because the ground will crumble under your feet, or is just like so easy to have this feeling of it slipping away even as you're walking over it. So there's a lot of visual metaphor for kind of building community and building something lasting and meaningful, that is powerful enough that the game doesn't need to tell you that explicitly. Whereas, say, in Darkest Dungeon, it's the, oh, wow, it nearly broke my will to live. Go have a drink, whatever. We're going out to the horrible fish lair tomorrow. Stop whining. And so, yeah, it is very much the kind of, like, little bit of a moment's respite, and utility, whereas I feel as though something like this with Bastion is precisely what you were saying, Nines. Oh, hello, Jimmy the Cannon. Nice to see you. Happy to have you here on the stream, and thank you for dropping in. How are you doing today? Let's see here. The Sundown Path and... yeah, the Melting Pot. Sure, let's see. What do we got over here?
In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stabweeds.
I forget whether or not these are destructible or not. They are. Okay, cool.
Blasted things hurt like a broken heart.
I just need to not, get stabbed by the titular stab weeds. Well. Gravity's a motherfucker. Thank you. Should have brought that machete.
He figures it ought to be deeper down.
Oh, for real, dude? Come on. Anything over here? Nope. Just more stabbing. Cool. I've also got a little bit of controller drift here. That's probably going to make this a bit of a pain in the butt, but oh well. We'll work through it.
Core stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous.
Oh, hey, look, explosives.
He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong?
Alright.
Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow.
That's cool. I need to collect these dollary dues over here.
Start falling in.
Whoop.
Not every squird's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take...
Haha, a Attack, my commas. Attack and defend your master. I noticed they also kind of refined a bit of the aiming system in this. Or rather, Supergiant has refined their usual aiming system they use since this game.
Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard it pop that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes. Maybe 30. Hard to tell.
Holy moly, is there ever a lot going? Oh yeah, that's right, I have that.
Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up.
There we go.
One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from it. Tax-free.
Oh, okay, that's fire. Fire bad, as Frankenstein's monster has taught us.
It's a troublesome scene, to be sure.
I'm also noticing that they've kind of refined a bit of a formula for these like multi-stage fights to where the pacing drags a lot less in more recent games.
9, 8,
Whoop.
7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done.
I mean, luckily there isn't much of like a grindy element to this game, but like the different phases that you'll have in fights can kind of not especially be able to tell how close you are to victory. And can just be like, alright, cool, another one, awesome. Yeah, there's stuff falling from the sky.
Just gotta get to the nearest barge.
Oh, or, you know, fuck me and I can't go that way. Nope, that didn't work. Alright. Oh, well, hey, you know, look at that.
I still remember the look on his face after that one.
Let's see. Around with Salt and Sanctuary. Salt and Sanctuary is one that I have not tried, but it's been on my list for a very long time. I've been wanting to try Blasphemous. I really like the art style on that one, so that might be one that I'll look forward to in my spare time. Okay, let's see.
The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started.
Let's see here. Salt and Sanctuary, SNS is fun. Need to get back to that one. 2 Hunter, Sword Whip, and a sword whip. Is that like Ivy and Soul Calibur sort of thing, or is that something different? Let's see. Get it to start working. There's no way to do. Lots of technical talk in a game I haven't played yet, but I will, and then maybe I'll be able to contribute to that discussion. The kid scales up hard. The weapon upgrades get silly. Yeah, no, I have played it. It's just kind of one of those things of like the feel of it's difficult so much as like there doesn't feel as though there's a delineation of stages quite so much in terms of various different cues that you get. Like, for instance, a lot of the enemies that I'm facing there is like, this one's slightly greener, this one's slightly bluer, and I'm like, all right, cool. Some of these are helping me and some of them are not, but there's a lot of visual clutter. That, once again, this is kind of like, you know, going back to an artist and critiquing a drawing that they made 15 years ago, quite literally. So, you know, this is not me being too harsh, but it's just interesting to watch the trajectory of how these things have been kind of clarified and generally made for better user experience in their future games. That just jogged my memory. Someone, I think it was you, Nines, was talking earlier about how they redid a lot of animations for, say, Pyre. But that also tracks because Pyre is a completely different genre of game. It is also, funnily enough, it is the only Supergiant game that I have not played, because I saw it and I'm like, I respect the ambition to do something different with kind of this weird, like, soccer to save the world sort of game that you have, but I'm also like, I tried the central gameplay loop a little bit and I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this, so rather than play a game that I know I'm not going to enjoy and rag on it, when it's not really bad, it's more my problem because it's not my particular cup of tea. I'm like, I'm going to let the people who enjoy this enjoy it, and I will celebrate their joy and not, like, I don't want to rag on something. Because, you know, if it's not my thing and I don't have something constructive to criticize about it, I don't want to spend a whole ton of time yucking someone's yum, if you know what I mean, as much as I hate that expression. But yeah, it makes sense that they would redo those animations for something that serves a different purpose, perhaps.
Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Zealandia. It was good living here for a while.
Let's see. Yeah, no, my head is full of words, and some of them are a bit more, well, you see, I say my head is full of words, and then I can't sort through them to find the one that I want to use now, so there you go. Let's see.
A lot of things need fixing up in this world.
Okay, so I do think that we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then... Yeah, we'll just do damage for now, because I might go back and do that breaker trial again. And see if that works, because I can only choose one of these at a time, right? Scumbag, 50% draw speed. Actually, yeah, here, I'll do that, and then I'm gonna go... So something nasty is for the gun, something sharp is for that. Deal targets over time. Okay, we'll stick with that, and I'll do the breaker bow one, I think. The no-clip doc about Pyre, how it contributed to what Supergiant have achieved by now. Thank you. Nye, you are bringing it with the recommendations today, and I respect it. I will definitely go and check that out. Something that I've been finding... Oh, and also, thank you very much for the follow, Jimmy Cannon. I've only got that notification just now, but I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Have I gotten any other notifications? Because there's a little bit of a delay here. Nope. Okay, we're good. So yeah, and something I've been finding, because and Nick, you've seen this, is I am a let's see, I have mentioned in our tabletop chop shop Discord that I'm a big fan of War Stories, which is the Ars Technica series that they run on YouTube. However, I do find, one, series hella white, yo. Fucking just, like, please, dear God, like, studios, put more non-white people in charge of your stuff. Please, I beg you, I need to wear shades sometimes. So that's one thing. Two, a lot of the older stories are very, like, based on technical limitations, which I don't have the knowledge of different programs to be able to maybe appreciate. And it's always like, oh, well, this program actually it could only render these many bodies at once, but we found a loop around. It's like, dude, I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sure that there is a demographic labeled people who care, and I am not in that demographic. However, there are a couple of them like Subnautica, which is very interesting because they wanted to make a whole game that was non-violent. They wanted to have no guns in that game, and the whole challenge of building a game that was a compelling gameplay loop without that was very challenging. So I am all about more interesting game development documentaries and things like that. I'm a big fan of Raising Kratos, which is the hour-and-a-half documentary that's on YouTube about the 2018 God of War game. I'm a huge fan of that. So yeah, thank you very much for the recommendations there, Nye. Let's see here. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a horror documentary that I had recommended to me recently called Horror Noir, about the contribution of black filmmakers and actors in horror, that I have yet to watch, but it's on my list because I am also really, really interested in that. And just, what is scary to you is very, and I mean you generally, not you specifically. Things that are scary are very much defined and influenced by your own life experience. So the things that have been scary to predominantly white folks who make horror movies have been very ironic use of terminology here, but very colored by their experience. And so you were getting these very innovative, really cool horror movies by folks like Jordan Peele and by, Monkey's Paw Films. And yeah, it's definitely something that I'm interested in. Oh, yes, thank you very much for the follow there, Fall on My Blade. I appreciate you very much for that. So here, let's check out this Breaker's Proving Ground and see if I can actually make this happen. All right, let's give this another go. Did I get all these ones? Nope, not quite. All right, that's cool. Heck. There we are. That's what I like to see. Nope, that's not the one that I wanted. Can I cancel? I don't think there's a way for me to cancel. Alright. Cool. There we are. Perfect. Something fancy and breaker volley. Look at that. Got myself a new toy. I'm happy about that.
I almost don't believe it when he says he passed the Breaker's challenge.
Motherfucker, I got breaker volley. I've been putting together this whole thing. You ain't been doing shit. Don't tell me what I didn't do. I'm honestly so into meetings NDS about. Oh, you're in two minds, I'm guessing is what you're trying to say there, Nine. They're very fun, but my brain just doesn't let me pass up on the harder ones until later. Yeah, it is. It is kind of one of those things where so much of user experience is properly communicating things to the player. I talk about this a lot with Monster Hunter World, honestly, because I love that game. Not super good about communicating things to players. Because if a game was like, I probably won't be able to do this until later, then I'm like, cool, my dude, I will come back to this later. But if it doesn't explicitly tell me that, then I'm like, there's a thing to this. I need to figure this out. And I will just hyper fixate on it for like 15-20 minutes or longer until it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, you can't do that until you have this. I'm like, oh, cool, thank you for telling me that. I'm super glad that I didn't spend my time on that. So something that I think more games and more studios could maybe stand to work on a little bit more is clarity of communication, which is not a super, like, you say that in terms of what people are excited about game design for, and it's not super sexy. It's not like real exciting, but technical writing and clarity of communication and intent makes for sexy experiences, both IRL and in video games, because you get that clarity and that security to be able to figure out what it is that you want to do and feel confident in that it's going to be an enjoyable result. So yeah, no, clarity of technical writing and communication in games, it makes a world of difference, which is why I'm super finicky about my grammar when I'm writing rules, as I am writing, say, the Words of Creation rules right now. Okay, so I don't have anything to... I don't think I have anything to upgrade right now, so we're going to... Or wait, do I? Do I have something for... No, I don't have anything for the hammer. Alright. And that's the Bastion. Proving ground for that. Don't really need it. The Sundown Path. Oh, I think this one's super sad, so I might have to shut up for this and let the story take it.
Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then, somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky.
Gentlemen? Gentlemen. No, not cool. There you go.
Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors no more. Security's all fired up.
Oh, so I can't go that way. Okay, good to know.
Valuables are lying everywhere. Kid thinks twice about risking his hide for them. Quick and careful is the only way to go.
I think I'm just gonna get, like, stun locked going through this. Wow! I got dropped on it while it was collapsing. That's cool.
See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such.
Yep, come on. Bye-bye. Thank you. Come on. Oh, no, I didn't get that one in time. Alright, cool.
Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. But Calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows.
So I don't actually know if these are going to collapse or not. I don't think they are. Come on. I don't know if they're going to come back. No. Oh, really?
Well, if we master
Shoot
the
your
winds
goop
the
at
old
me?
ways, we can do it
Straight
again.
disrespectful.
The question is, who else could have taken the core?
Come on. There we go.
Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake.
Yeah, it turns out IEDs are a real powerful weapon.
Coming back.
Come on. Oh, really? I didn't get that in time? There we go.
No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. Find time to find them.
Oh, I actually...
These wires to toss those things plenty far away.
Here we are. Alright, anytime y'all want to blow that up. Thank you. There we go.
Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky when you wake 'em up.
Come on. There we are. If I step on one of those again, they're gonna drop. Eh, screw it. Yep, come on. There we go. Gotta get the cookies, though. There we are. Alright, back home.
In all this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity? So we didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us.
So that's an interesting game design choice. Because, okay, because we have our whole sort of, we're looking for cores. There's a core detection here. So this is something that I kind of want to draw a parallel to when you're GMing a tabletop game. One of the things that, if you've ever played Blades in the Dark, one of the, first and foremost, really fun game system. I recommend the Forged in the Dark systems if you ever want to run something like heists and just kind of like criminal operations type things. There's a couple of different kind of subgenre hacks of them that are really cool. But one of the cool things that it does, it has a specific GM section with a lot of tips for game masters. And one of the tips that it has is that at the end of the heist, at the payoff, give the players what they earned. Because one thing that, especially if you're perhaps someone who's played a lot of, say, Dungeons and Dragons, is that, and I've fallen prey to this instinct myself, is to fall prey to the urge to kind of pull the rug out, but as a matter of course, and going like, haha, they said that you were going to pay you this, but they actually are just going to screw you over and kill you. And it's a violation of expectation. Now, violation of expectation is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of the time it can be a very good thing. But if you are kind of having this expectation of something positive and you get something negative instead, in game design, it can be really tricky because ultimately you want the twist of a game to eventually circle back around to a net positive. Because while in-game you will have these conflicts that might be negative experiences for your player characters, things are trying to kill me all the time, whatever. For your players themselves, you ultimately want people to walk away from a table feeling like they've had a good time. So when you have that moment of deciding to pull the rug out from someone, it's usually a good idea to have something as a net positive to counterbalance that. You didn't get this reward, but you have this other thing, like you made an ally, or you have something really cool happen separate from that in order to make up for it. The reason why I say that is that's a very interesting thing that just happened with that level. And I'm interested to see because, we got a new tool or new special ability, but that's happened in levels where we didn't have the expectation of a core either. So it's interesting. It's a development of the story because there's that twist of there's someone else. Who could it be? But tangibly, it's kind of a net negative. So it's not something that I really kind of picked up on that pattern before, because at the time that I originally played this, I didn't really have the language to really speak about it more clearly. So that's an interesting pattern. I'm going to see in terms of design choices whether it makes up for it. And I'm going to take a quick sip of water, which for those of you out there, take this as a good chance to hydrate real quick. You know, take a good stretch, take your meds if you need to take your meds, all that sort of stuff. All right. Resuming the game.
Ain't always much to say.
Fair enough. And now we have two things that I don't have stuff for. All right. And the arsenal is pretty much just for switching weapons. Let's see. I do think that I'm going to stick with the trip mine for now, because it does a ton of damage and I can lure people into it. Alright. Let's see. Setup and payoff is very versatile narrative instrument. It's also super effective on our reptilian brain stuff. So if we strongly felt like we got dunked on, if we're expecting something, feels more like a betrayal than if something bad would just randomly happen. Yeah, it's real tricky. It's one of those things that really goes back to, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I do have, my academic background is in psychology as well as philosophy, and it is kind of, as much as we talk about story and immersion and everything, it really kind of takes me back to these very kind of buttons and levers and incentives sort of responses. And there is something to be said about the nature of certain incentives and reinforcement schedules and things like that. But it's interesting every so often where you go like, that was intended to make me feel good in the game, but it didn't. Why didn't it make me feel good? Why am I irritated right now? And to be able to trace that back to something very kind of primal in the way that you were saying there, Nine. And yeah, it's very interesting, the different pulleys and levers on which our positive and negative attributions of experience tend to lie, especially when it comes to game design, that where you're trying to curate a certain expectation and a certain experience. Okay, so moving on to the Hanging Gardens.
The dead welcome him with open arms.
All right. This is the one that I'm going to be more quiet for. So I encourage everyone who hasn't played the game or it's been a while since you've played the game, just kind of wade in and experience this one with me, because this one was one that stuck with me when I initially played.
The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nordy, the bird boy, didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. Kid does what he has to do. And then, what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time.
Alright, so that's pretty heavy. The thing that gets me about that level is how much emotionally and narratively it manages to communicate with so little. Yeah, we actually just got through, I think it was the Hanging Gardens? I forget specifically. But it's one of the more heavier areas of the game, where you see a lot of the statues of people who have passed because of the calamity. There's a feeling of loss, and a weight of loss that I think is very significant, and a lot of games don't manage it very well. But Bastion did, and I want to talk a little bit about why. There are a lot of these points in games where games want you to care about an NPC, or the story, or something that's going on, and you just start skipping through the dialogue and be like, okay, tell me the thing I need to hit. Tell me the thing that I need to get. Tell me the MacGuffin that I need to actually get this. But the level that we just went through has a method of just centering the loss and what has been lost in a very core way. Pun not intended, because we did pick up a core at the end of that level. There's the fact that you just kind of go through and you don't really get anything but these little tidbits of, you know, this person, they didn't make it. This person, they never got to see what was outside of Caelondia. This person, you know, this little kid who liked to play with the birds, they didn't make it. This man and his son, their family didn't make it. And there's, I forget specifically the source of it, but there is a writer whom I remember reading something on Twitter and going, if you want to convey the depth of a tragedy and the weight of what was lost, you don't go big. You don't go, this many people die, because that's not a tragedy, that's a statistic. You go small. You go, you know, the old sort of a single, like a burned doll that is left at the side of the road, or a small photo, or someone's journal entry of, I'm so looking forward to this thing that we're gonna get to do when I see you again. And there are these little glimmers of humanity that when we lose something, those are the things that I think hit most deeply that we lose. It's that connection, it's those relationships, it's the potential for what could have been. There's an old line from my favorite Western, Unforgiven, that Clint Eastwood's character, William Money, says to basically his young companion for the movie has killed someone for the first time, and he's had this whole idea of I'm gonna be a badass cowboy, gunslinger, I'm gonna kill 50 men, all that sort of stuff, and he's shot someone dead for the first time, and he's very distraught about it, of course. And Will Money says something, and it's my favorite line in any Western, and it's one of my favorite lines in all films. He says, and I'm gonna probably misremember this, but in essence, it's a hell of a thing killing a man. Take everything he's got, everything he's ever gonna have. And I think that in addition to losing that humanity and those lives, the loss of a potential future of any hope or love or anything, the chance for things to get better, even if they're bad right now, and the loss of that possibility is just, it just weighs on you. And those little couple sentences, the bird boy, he didn't make it. That family, they didn't make it. Really hits hard in a way that I feel like a lot of games have mismanaged, in that Bastion does incredibly well. It's doing a lot with a little. But yeah. So let's see. The fact that you can kind of observe the aftermath of the calamity with a hammer, and there's still a place for empathy and heartbreak about having to use the bomb, and also a bit of a punch in the gut reminds you that you're not going back. So 9, I will give a heads up that just in case people who are going to be watching the VOD later haven't played it, if you could drop a spoiler or just something in front of those, because I think all of us in the chat have played this thus far, but it is something that I don't want to throw it out there just in case folks want to have that full experience if they decide to go back for it. Not a worry, just something maybe we could be mindful of in the chat. It's all good. Let's see here. Made a happier game, need a damn chill pill, triggered my depression and shit. Yeah, it gets intense. Let's see. Yeah, not a problem. You're all good. Alright, so let's continue then. Let's put that core in. Apologies for my occasional sniffles, by the way. Because it is allergy season.
Things are gonna be all right.
All right, let's talk, Zolf.
For Zolf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home too, far to the east. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since.
It's true. I've caught the Rona. This is my last couple of weeks to live, and I'm gonna spend it on Twitch. As I will die as I live.
Decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now.
Let's see. What do we got to build over here? Oh wait, it's not there. It's here.
Well, look what we have here.
Let's memorial, and we'll say sure. Right, there's the new visual. So
pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more.
I also like how they do frame like the various kind of challenges and achievements by something like a memorial and remembering what's been lost. I think that that's a very interesting little touch that they've added here.
Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste.
And haven't gotten anything new for this. Gotta check whether or not I've got something new for the hammer yet. If I have a proving ground, I might go there.
A couple more cores near the edge of the city.
Cinder Brick, Pith Orchard. There's the Bastion, Proving Ground. Oh, yeah, I remember this is the one with the bowl. Right. Sure, why not? Let's go there.
No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either.
Oh, wait a minute. Interesting. Alright.
Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the orchard core is long gone too. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god.
That's interesting. So, fun fact, when I initially played this, I didn't really look at much of the stuff in the pack. So it's interesting looking at it now that they've decided to keep various different lore items in there as inventory, kind of in a very like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow sort of way. And also just kind of this little statue, this little kid. Doesn't really say anything about it, just like that was a kid who had a life once, and now it's gone. So I think it's little images like that that are very powerful.
Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration.
Can I break this? I got a couple of fragments for it.
Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least.
Alright, yeah, cool. Not cool. Not cool, dude.
Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks him to bits.
There we go.
Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off? Pith.
Sure, you know what? Let's take a little bit of a challenge.
Besides, the press is well.
Yeah, no, okay.
Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore.
Oh, I am out of tonic. Well, never mind. There we go. Oh, you had more health than I thought you did.
Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him.
Come on. There we go.
Gods ain't
stab weeds. Don't want to go through there. At least I don't think I do. Come on. Oh, no, did I already deflect it back? Cool. That doesn't suck. I don't hate that.
Kid ain't found a core. At least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Pith Orchard. The place is a dead end in more ways than one.
Alright, well. I don't think there's anything else for me to... Gonna head out. Have
Now
fun,
we
y'all.
can build
Thank
a
you very
shrine
much,
of
Follow
our
My
own.
Blade. I hope that you
Though I
have
got
a
some
lovely evening.
alternatives in mind.
Let's see here. Transistor can never be happy again. Story. Yeah, there's the stories will stick with you. Calamities of Pompeii, which is great. Yeah, no, all of you have your like Pepe Silva board just being like all the strings strung between everything.
Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy.
I don't think that I can upgrade anything yet.
The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls.
This is the time where I do my customary read the Craft sequence by Max Gladstone. It's my favorite fantasy series and has my favorite interpretation of gods, spirituality, their connection to magic, their significance to culture. It's so good. And the whole sort of like taking gods that were spiritually significant and powerful to people and kind of turning them into resources to have control or power or like toys and things like that. Yeah, that's a through line that I feel like is getting more play nowadays. Let's see here. So Fang Repeater. I might actually go and see if I can upgrade this. Fast reload. Let's go.
Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them.
Okay. And yeah, I've got so much money. I'll be fine. 20% crit chance. That doesn't suck.
That blade shines like a light.
All right, where am I going now? Been there. Bullhead Court. Yeah, no, it's delightful. It's also like, it's a series where most of the characters are queer POC. It's mostly women. There's several trans individuals who are like core to the story. Yeah, and it's like pretty much the only one where I've really seen that's like that. That isn't like explicitly one culture or kind of like drawing from that. Like for instance, I'm also a big fan of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Of course, N.K. Jemisin. I'll have to actually look up the pronunciation of her name so I can make sure that I do it correctly. But there is a surprising sensitivity to a lot of influences of Pacific Islander nations and cultures to kind of various different Muslim and West African traditions, or rather Arabic, Muslim, West African traditions in the Craft sequence. There is a surprising diversity of influences and a sensitivity for all of them. So yeah, it's very, very, very good. Yeah, let's go to Bullhead Court. Let's deflect some stuff with the shield.
The accused always got a fair shake in Ceylabia. Some used to take the bullhead trial. Survive the trial without taking a scratch, you'd walk away a free man.
Come on.
trial taught folks three things. First, a good defense is a good offense. Second, you gotta always watch your back. Third, ain't no godlike bull up there gonna save you.
Alright, this is gonna be the tricky bit. Huh, okay, didn't quite get that. I really just gotta deflect one and then get out of the way. Come on. Yeah, that's...
The smarter ones knew when to just step aside.
Come on.
And let things go.
There we are. Come on, one more time. He's so bitty.
Makes it out in one piece.
Yeah, trying to do that with no hits is rough. I'm gonna try that one more time though. I was starting to do pretty.
Court is back in session for the kid. Old ritual for when folks believed there was this godlike bull watching over them. Having they do with nothing but a shield.
Got that. Gonna counter you. Counter you. Come on. There we are. There we go. Okay. It's getting the timing down. Whoa. Don't have two at once. There we go. Yeah, I won't go for the big prize on this because that's going to be possibly real grindy. Oh, jeez. Okay. There we are. So yeah, he'll breathe in like once and then do that. Alright, cool. Didn't quite get it that time. Come on, dude, really?
The kid pulls through in fine form.
Alright, cool. So we got the bronze and silver prizes. That's enough for now. Sound and recommendation. Gaming Score Fanfare has
Well, a
pretty
kid
great
always
videos on
wanted to
Supergiant
complete
and
the
Ori
Bullhead
music.
trial.
Doesn't go super hard on musical theory. Focuses more on the score versus interaction with the game mechanics. Very neat. I will make sure and keep that in mind. I'm gonna have to start a queue because I've got a couple of different things to check out. Okay, cool. So I've got nothing else to build or upgrade here. I might put my repeater back though, because I like my bow. Once I get the blunderbuss though, I remember that was a favorite of mine for a while. Come on. Alright. Yeah, because we got the Fang repeater, we got that, we got this, and this is the next story area. Cool.
There's only one way to Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way.
Alright, cool. Let's do it.
Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags.
Thank you. Anything over here? Nope. Anything hiding behind here? Nope. Okay. Nope. Okay.
The calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky.
Come on. Okay. See, now these are reminding me of the witches from Hades. How we just have all of the different various variations on the turrets and stuff. Come on. There you go.
Wham! Kid's ready for the windbags this time.
Alright, come on. Shoot me. Interesting. Don't much care for that.
The windbags put the kid on notice.
Interesting. Come on. What are you... What? Stop. Are you shooting yourself? Stop shooting yourself. Why are you doing that? That's silly. There we are. Trying to remember, does leveling up just increase my damage, or is there actually something tangible that it does? Because I think it increases the number of slots that I can have at the distillery, right?
Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort.
Ugh, okay, okay, okay. Sir? Right, and I can't block that. Okay.
At least the marshals left the kid a partner gift.
There's the blunderbuss. Or scrap musket.
Windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through the greasy
Oh
hides.
no, I've got two shooty things now.
Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All I want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could've been my
Got the itchy nose.
Christmas on the
Got the
ground
itchy nose.
in the old days.
I'm trying to figure out what killed me when I killed that turret. This is a trap. There's turrets over here, isn't there? Nope, but it doesn't help when I roll off a cliff. No, sir, it does not. No.
Cinderbrick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while.
Alright.
Windbags can't use the marshal supplies, but the kid sure
We're gonna go... Because I do want something close range and far range. But I could just deflect stuff that's far away. And I feel like a lot of the things are going to be really close up. Yeah, we'll go... I guess it would be pronounced sail hammer and not kale hammer. Because I'm thinking kale because I'm thinking like, what's his face from Titan AE.
As for the windbags,
whose name is spelled similarly.
the fort ain't theirs by right.
Alright, come on. Who's gonna shoot me
Can't
now?
blame them for wanting it, though.
Yep, come on.
So many
There
of
we
those
are.
sorry things holed up inside that old fort.
Because it's Caelandia, right? So... Do I have a fave enemy in Bastion or Hades? That's a good question. I mean, the ones in Bastion don't really have a whole ton of variation. That's a very good question. I don't know if I do. Because I don't spend a whole ton of... Whoops, sorry. Gotta blow you all up. Thank you. I don't spend a whole ton of time thinking about the enemies too much. It'll probably be something from Hades if it's anything. Let's see. Let me just think about this while I deflect these projectiles. Wait, how am I... What am I getting hit with?
Times like this, kids glad he packed trip mines.
Am I? I'm just gonna... Can I do this? Bye.
Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works.
Oh, no, fire bad.
Don't know, kids fresh out of health tonics.
Yeah, it's not good. Come on, you gonna shoot me? Nope, just fire. Oh, okay then. It's gonna be slow going, I think. Well, that was just kind of a waste, I think. That's on me. I should have grabbed my bow. Yeah, come on. Thank you.
Kid ain't afraid of getting burned.
Don't really have a whole ton of choice. Oh, alright. That was torturous. Can I go the other way? Nope. Alright. Probably a good thing. It would have felt real silly. Hey, another health
They
tonic.
trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds.
Alrighty then. There we go. And one for you. And one... Come on. One for you. And
Then
one
they
for you.
bring out Glutus and Blandon. Oh, that scumbag.
Oh, okay.
They got something to gain, and only their sorry hides.
Come on. Y'all can just, like, get real close and just set this off. That'd be lovely. later. Oh, really? Okay.
It takes that, Plutus. Maybe it was Glandon. The other big
I
fellas
will
who
literally forget that, like,
wherever they are now.
the gas bags are there because they get so small, but they're still alive. And he just... Alright, cool, you're just gonna Wile E. Coyote yourself off that cliff. I don't hate it. Marshal's badge.
Dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this.
Yeah, cop badge. Aw, this little cannon boy over here didn't even get to participate. Let me just get the money. Get the money. Well, want one of those. It might be the end of the level, but hey. No one will tell me that I am not thorough.
The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort.
Let's see. Favorite enemy in Hades.
Kid shows up just as Ulf's telling me about his own journey to
As much as they're a pain in the ass, I enjoy the Exalted. The Exalted, I like their moveset. Except for the shield ones are just way too much of a pain in the ass. I like the spear ones, though. I like their art design and stuff.
Saved for Zulf was a smoking pipe.
Right, and that's the flashback thingy.
The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity.
So, it's interesting playing this with, you know, an additional decade plus worth of experience, or life experience under my belt, that there's a lot of kind of narratives about nationalism and potentially racism as well in this game that I maybe didn't give a whole ton of in-depth reflection on. So it will be very interesting to see if that continues to be the case. Or, you know, rather, it continues to be the case whether or not I have more to be able to add to that.
Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Poor kid collapses after just one drag.
Alright, one flashback pipe. Alright.
The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history.
This is one of the challenge things, I think. Yeah, this is one of the challenge rooms. Alright, cool. We can do that. Whoa, okay. Okay. You're spicy. You're a sassy boy.
The past catches up with a kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started.
Alright, this is familiar. This is coming back to me. Ugh! Yeah, they'll just yeet themselves off a cliff.
Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie.
Learning the tells on the animations when you have a whole bunch of enemies who are basically variations on one another is very challenging.
But he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his.
Nope. There we are. You're fire. Yep, you're fire. Fire bad. As we've already established.
Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there.
Oh no, you're just gonna shoot your goo at me. Well, that is very rude, sir. And I don't much care for it at all. And there's a lot of surface area for you to eat bullets, so we can make that happen.
School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money.
Jeez, okay, alright. We went into hard mode.
Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura,
Come on.
name it.
Oh no, you're just gonna walk and fucking snail trail your way across here, aren't you? I'm gonna get knocked out by this.
Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
Ah, okay, you're both very large. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Ow. Yeah, this isn't gonna end well. Just gonna have to strafe this. Yeah, there it goes.
Anyway,
Oh, no, okay, cool. I would... Really? Okay. Well, at least it's not too much damage.
the city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either.
Alright. Now I remember one of the things that was a little bit irritating about this game is the three-quarter view was not super great for when you had levels like this.
So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years.
It's not super great for telling you where you can and can't step. Come on. There we are.
In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
Come on. Alright, cool. We can do that.
Out there, kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break.
Yeah, you both enjoy that. Yeah, trip mine is money. Especially for spatial management. Well, speaking of which.
In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody.
Yeah, didn't even see that hole. Okay, okay. Okay, I don't much care for this at all. Whoop. this part's gonna be a pain in the ass. Die. There.
One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart.
Oh my god. There's so many enemies. That's super cool. You don't have to worry about the ground blowing up. That's super duper cool. Can I deflect that? No, I cannot. Okay.
He saw nothing where the world used to be.
Oh
The
my
calamity happened
goodness.
just like that.
Alright, no, we got another challenge. And I have no tonics left. Whoa! Okay, okay, okay.
All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back.
Oh my goodness. They do not screw around with the challenge rooms. Guess we're just doing this. Alright, that's cool. That's fine. I can handle it. No big deal. Yeah, you're the fast boy. Yeah.
Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
Oh, no. Sure. Oh, yeah, this is no bueno. Yeah, there we go.
For nothing now.
Yeah, that was... I forgot how long those rooms are. Holy moly. When they mean 18 reflections, like, oh yeah, 18 waves of enemies that are progressively harder remaining.
Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him.
There's a very ambiguous moral position that the game seems to take about the Ura. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it yet, upon reflection. Because it's that sort of like, well, we treated them poorly, but, you know, but it still wasn't okay that they, etc., avoiding spoilers. Yeah, there's especially kind of the way that they're Asian coded, makes me feel a little bit uneasy, so we're gonna have to see whether or not that's, yeah, we're gonna have to see. That's, I might, ugh.
Kid's ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand.
Might do, I think we might do musket and bow, actually. So we'll go musket and breaker's bow for short range and long range. Did a lot of work on the cameras. They even built a specific way to move the camera for transistor. Yeah, this is very much the unpolished diamond of which, you know, hey, it was their first really big game, so that makes sense. But yeah, no, those sorts of areas where, like, with the progressively constructed ground and then having areas that you can fall through, it wasn't super visually clear for a while, and I remember that being a frustration when I did that before. Let's go Lost and Found.
The Lost and Found. Yeah, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again.
Graver Slash requires tonic, something coarse. How much do I have? I have a ridiculous amount
All
of...
it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's see. Bronze Spyglass, Crystal Barrette, Whale Ale, damage using secret skills, that might come in handy. Health tonics fully restore health, yes. 100 damage from counter blocking, I'm gonna have some use from that. Bastion bourbon, yep. It's all coming back to me now. I remember this. So yeah, for those of you who's got this bow ready to get at, this isn't Monster Hunter. Yeah, no, Fatalis I'm sure would be very cute, much more cute in this if Fatalis ever showed up. But hey, that's a suggestion for Drawfee if they ever want to do one of those, like, draw this game's characters in another game's style, is like draw Monster Hunter monsters in the style of Bastion. Is like, all right, that's kind of cool. Also, hello, Sin. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. How are you doing? Are we getting ready for some more Monster Prom Monday? Because I hear tell that there is another Monster Prom coming out, and since you are the Monster Prom person, I am very excited to see if you maybe get to take a look at that, because that'd be very interesting. Let's see here. Sentimental value, whale ale. We'll leave that for now because I do want to upgrade some of these. Okay, something coarse, smooth bore, range, and less spread. Because I have my ranged weapon with my bow, so I might go spread.
If you want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel.
Shots cause greater knockback. No, we're gonna go raw damage, methinks.
The marshals learn to pack those shells full of fire.
Alright, and what does my bow look like? Can I get anything more of something stringy? I can. And I might as well grab this too. Got more money than God right now. Oh geez, had I not upgraded that at all? Crit chance, greater force on impact. Sure, let's go. Oh, no, I did upgrade that. Okay, I just don't have enough money now. All right, that's fine. The stuff for something stringy. Got 50% damage. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Let's see here. Since yet you are not, because vacation, but we will play Monster Prom next week until morale improves. Awesome! Well, I'm glad that you're having a lovely evening. I'm also gonna have to find someone else to raid now, so that will be very interesting to see who's on tonight, who's floating around. Do I have another area? Ooh, we have a scrap musket one. Let's see what's going on over there.
Ever felt a Zolwood gourd, like picking up broken glass barehanded? At Zolwood Grove, marshals learn to make every shot count.
So we're gonna go.
The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo. Most marshals didn't get far on their first few tries.
Right, I can knock them off. I forgot that I could do that. Yeah, I gotta get the upgrade that gives me more knack back for that, I think.
Funny thing about muskets is they work best up close.
Thank you, narrator. I believe I am aware. Oh, come on. I had one left. All right.
It took a keen eye.
Oh, okay. Story mode Bay's on tonight. We can do that. Let's see. Did I get any prizes? Okay. Can I... Because I'm pretty sure that I can probably do that if I have some different mods on my shotgun.
Marshals did more than just stand around shooting, of course.
Let's see. So we're gonna change out the mods on my scrap musket. So, greater knockback. Let's see. Do you want to go range or spread for the proving ground? That's a tough one. Minus 50% spread is a lot, though. Sure. Let's go greater knockback and less spread. Or, sorry, more spread, less range. So, let's give that one more shot. But otherwise, how is your vacation going, Sin? I hope that you are having a lovely, relaxing time and doing some of that excellent self-care that we talk about. Alright, so... Nope, over here. Okay, that's a bunch of those gone. We're gonna go... Come on, really? There we are.
Plenty of gourds to go around, even now.
I think I need to back up a little bit. And then I really gotta blast them up close. You really notice how Supergiant has refined their aiming in subsequent games? Really? Alright.
Marshals like to fine-tune their muskets to get better results.
It's like playing pool. Please figure out, can I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Oh, yes!
The best of the best cleared the course in just a few shots.
Cool. Got that for free. I don't hate that. Just barely under it, too. Just barely. Alright. I didn't think I was going to get that last trick shot. That was tough. Especially since the aim locks to one, and you can't really cycle through them as easily as you can otherwise. Let's see here. We might actually just go and just say, that's a lot of damage. Alright. There we go. And we might do one more story area, I think, before we head off for the evening. But yeah, this has been a delightful new kind of, you know, a revisiting of a game that is very near and dear to my heart.
The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe all that water.
Oh, we have the birds. I remember the birds. Your stab weeds.
Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat.
I would like for my fairy barge to not stab me, thank you.
She'll send some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core.
You gonna shoot me too?
Maybe she can slip right
Yeah?
past all
Alright,
the
cool.
clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns.
Oh wow, you have a lot of HP. Holy moly.
Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with.
This got complicated quick.
About what happened at Cinderbrick. They try to cut her off.
Come on. Yeah, you have fire for me, and I don't much care for it.
They try to knock her out.
Alright, come on. Who's gonna shoot me next?
Well, Weepin' Nelly tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's
Whoa.
gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. At least she picked a good spot for a break. The core's right there.
Yeah, I'm good. Health. I'll take that.
Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings.
Is it 100 flapping wings? Because I think it's 100 flapping wings. Okay. Yup, no. None of this fucking Alfred Hitchcock bullshit.
They have their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weepin' Nelly raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough.
Oh, okay, cool. We got guns now. I don't hate that.
A little help with all them peckers. Traffic things think they're
Y'all, Supergiant, level with me here. Did you really have to call them peckers? There's just like, there's no other better name for an avian enemy that you could have chosen. Maybe one that is not a euphemism for penis. Oh, well.
Security skiffs keep on coming starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something.
There we go.
Windbags getting even better out here. They aim to smash Weepin' Nelly's splinters.
Okay. Stop it. It's vandalism. P.D. Walters is gonna be mad.
Well, it all proves too much for poor Nelly. She's just gotta make one last
Bye.
stop. With her last breath, Nelly gets the kid to solid ground.
Times like these, I'm happy for.
Solid ground.
Huh!
Pecker country.
Yeah, come on, come on. Okay, for real though?
They ain't hurt the Pecker's appetites. They
Let
want
me get
that
my-
core real bad. Might be they want
I
it
actually
just
get
as
my
bad as
timing
the
for
kid.
the parry on this. Yeah, I gotta heal. Huh!
Kid shoes him off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the bars back there? A good couple of times.
Couple, and then actually fell off a couple more.
Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff?
Oh, this is the jungly area for the first time. I remember this. Talented.
Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far.
They're surprisingly, like, I don't know if it's that sort of thing of, you know, we have a budgeted amount of effort and we're gonna put it into everything else, and like the names are they're not great, but it's like these are shooters and these enemies that hit you are called like the hitters, and it's like, all right, y'all really, this is the best. And they're like, dude, it's 11:35 on a Friday. Like, these are not going to be our top material. Do you want amazing soundtracks, great character development, and gameplay? Cool. Then shut the fuck up about how our names aren't that good. And it's like, that's fair. That's entirely fair. All right. Do you still have like poison fog, or are you done now? Okay, cool.
And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it?
Alright, we'll probably finish off this level, because I didn't think that that barge level was going to be a two-parter. But we shall see.
The other kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while.
Huh, okay, well, I didn't think that the Switch would do
How's
that.
it go again?
And for those of you who have not played Bastion, but have played Hades, you may recognize the voice of Eurydice. Yeah, okay. Stop. Don't spit at me. Rude. Rachel Barrett, yep. Arguably the voice of Supergiant, honestly. Yeah, thank you, I know how to defend game. Okay, are we... Alright. What I don't know how to do is not fall off cliffs, apparently. Yep. The shade, exactly. The like, once you get hit 6 times, oh hi, did you forget how to use a shield? Like, no, thank you. Come on. I will take the currency, thank you. I also like the build-up, I guess you could call it. Like, you know that you're supposed to head in a certain direction, but it's not, your map has a thing that says, go here. It's like, no, you're just accompanied by this very nice, soothing voice. And, once again, Sin, this is before you came into chat, but we were discussing how one of the earlier levels is very narratively heavy. You're shown effectively the corpses of all of the people who died in this calamity and all that's been lost in terms of their joy and their hope for the future, that when you reach this point, oh, you have a lot of HP. You actually have a health bar. That when the narrator says, narrator, I never pronounce it that way. When the narrator says, something he hasn't heard in a long time, the music and art and beauty is definitely especially poignant given the counterpoint of the feelings of loss and tragedy that are communicated very well. Not too long before this point in the game. It's like I've said it enough times that it's probably my catchphrase at this point, but good narrative, in my opinion, requires ebb and flow. So if everything is very heavy and very serious for a very long time without any kind of alleviation of that, um, it can be exhausting and it can feel very monotonous. So this counter rhythm, I guess, if you want to call it that. Come on, no, come on. I didn't step on the stinky mushroom. Don't give me that. Oh, you want to go away now? Oh, okay. Oh, we done? Yeah, I got an arrow for you. Anyways, let's see. Now, where am I supposed to go from here? Am I gonna get a path? Nope. All right. There you go. All right.
Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes. They'll be here before too long.
All right. I think I can't really think of a better place to end off on that for tonight. So I think this happy little reunion will be the ending note on the stream for tonight. Thanks everybody who dropped by, whether or not you came by later on in the stream or have been here the whole time. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you deciding to spend your time with us here exploring this old classic game. I will be playing it on Friday as well before we start getting into Ori and the Blind Forest in November. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you had a good time. If this was your first time experiencing the game, or if you're a grizzled veteran coming back to it, I hope that my commentary and gameplay added something to the experience for you. And yeah, maybe even prompted the desire to go back and do another playthrough yourself. But I will say, I think that we are going to see if Miss Story Mode Bay is indeed streaming tonight. And, what? Yes. Okay, she is. So we're going to go say hi to Story Mode Bay, and we'll see what she's playing tonight. But until then, I hope that everybody has a lovely week, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care of yourselves, love each other, and we hope to see you then, and have a lovely evening.